Welcome to Gameonysus Weekly, your one-stop shop for video game news, keeping up with the biggest stories so you don't have to. Today we're talking about Ratchet and Clank State of Play, Nintendo World opening just to close, Toys for Bob working on Call of Duty now, all of these stories and so much more on today's episode. Starting off with the Ratchet and Clank State of Play. A few other games are mentioned in the State of Play, but mostly this was a Ratchet and Clank State of Play where they showed 20 minutes of gameplay. This was also right after they had revealed an additional trailer where they revealed that the female Lombax's name is Rivet. For the most part, this trailer was, or rather the State of Play, was about showing off the gameplay, talking about different mechanics, showing off things like weapons vendors, areas, how the rift system works. You see a couple weapons in action, but nothing too groundbreaking or noteworthy versus what we've already known. It was just kind of another look at things. And it featured creative director Marcus Smith walking us through the entire thing. And Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart will release on June 11th. Frustrating just about everyone, Humble Bundle decides to limit donations to 15%. They announced this in a recent blog post in which they said there'd be no slider, just instead two options: a default donation that gives 85% of a donation to publishers, 10% to Humble, and 5% to charity, and the other extra charity option will split, so 15% goes towards the chosen cause instead. And they also take the time to highlight ways that they will be better surfacing content, but the real story is in that donation change. This is definitely a bummer as someone that did buy a lot of Humble Bundles in the past. Like, I used to buy Humble Bundles all the time. I think it was like a great deal and a great cause, so it is sad to see them shifting how they handle their donations. But admittedly, I haven't bought a Humble Bundle in a really long time. I think the last Humble Bundle I bought was the Justice one that came out like a year ago. But for the most part, I now kind of avoid them just in the sense that it's usually a giant bunch of backlog that I haven't gotten to. I still haven't played those games that I bought years ago in college, but still really sad to see something that was such a cool idea and really well executed kind of take a step backward. And the recently opened Nintendo World is now closing. This comes over from Kyle Orland at Ars Technica with the headline, "COVID Emergency Shuts Japan's Super Nintendo World 1 month after opening. Construction continues on US versions of Nintendo-themed park." And this closure is due to increased spread of COVID-19 in Osaka. The article reads, "Today, Universal Studios Japan has decided to temporarily close our park due to the substantial business shutdown request to operate with no spectators, which was issued under the state of emergency for Osaka Prefecture," reads a note on the Universal Studios Japan website. The closure comes just weeks after Universal Studios Japan was forced to limit visitor numbers amid rising case rates in Osaka. Universal Studios Japan was previously closed for COVID from February 29th through June 7th of last year. The latest closure will be effective April 25th and will last, quote, "until the request has been lifted." Obviously, safety comes first in these cases, so I am glad that the proper precautions are being taken given the current state of COVID-19, but it is sad to see progress not really being made as visibly or as steadily in other areas. You know, I think here in the US, we are not necessarily seeing, we're seeing improvements for sure, and the distribution of the vaccine has been going a lot quicker. I can't say I'm necessarily shocked by this, but it just goes to show you that just because you open up something doesn't mean that like everything's cool and we're suddenly getting back to a state of normalcy. Like, as soon as things open, things can easily close again. So we really have to be careful and mindful and taking the proper precautions when making these decisions. I'm constantly joking that new is always better, and on that note, Respawn is working on a new franchise. This comes over from Wesley LeBlanc at IGN with the headline, "Respawn is in the early days of building a brand new franchise." The article reads, "This news comes by the way of Vince Zampella, the head of Respawn Entertainment, who quote tweeted a tweet announcing that a small team at Respawn was hiring for a new intellectual property. The team is currently made up of 5 individuals, but it's looking to hire a coder to make it 6. And in the tweet, Vince writes, "Looking for an exciting new opportunity, new Respawn project, super exciting stuff, get in early." And for those who may need a refresher, Respawn is known for games like Apex Legends, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, as well as Titanfall and Titanfall 2. Absolutely an impressive library, but of games I honestly haven't played or barely touched, except for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I did not like. So definitely am not the target audience, but I'm always excited when studios are working on new things. So from that perspective, I think this is cool. And if you are a fan of Respawn, you should be excited about what is to come. Hopefully it's something good. Toys for Bob is working on Call of Duty now. And for this, I'm going to pull in Wesley Yin-Pool's article over at Eurogamer with the headline, Activision puts Crash Bandicoot 4 dev Toys for Bob on Call of Duty Warzone development duty. And this article pulls in a tweet from the official Toys for Bob account that says, Toys for Bob is proud to support development for Season 3 of Call of Duty Warzone and looking forward to more to come. Let's go dev squads. Building on this, Yin-Pool writes, however, California-based Toys for Bob appears to have suffered staff exits as part of this shift. Character designer and illustrator Nicholas Cole, who worked at Toys for Bob up to January on Crash Bandicoot 4 and before that the Spyro Reignited trilogy, tweeted, it's the end of an era, but I wish my former coworkers with TFB all the best with what's ahead. Then everyone I interfaced with and worked along was let go. I'm very glad it's not a total shuttering. The article continues with game designer Blake Maloof is another former Toys for Bob developer who tweeted to say they had left the studio. I left on my own terms, they said. I had been needing a change anyways, so this just pushed my decision. As someone who absolutely loved Crash 4, I find this news really disappointing and just honestly kind of sad, especially with the layoffs that did happen as a result, or the people that got let go. And obviously my other bias is that I don't play Call of Duty, so I don't really have excitement about that project being bolstered in any way. It's not something that I've ever been passionate about, so I will put that out there. Like, maybe this could be good for, you know, that game and that team, but personally I would have loved to see Toys for Bob just stay the course of what they were working on. And of course, not everything that has been worked on will see the light of day, which brings us to our next story. The Last of Us Part 3 has a plot, but it's not being made yet. This comes from Joe Scrubbles over at IGN, who is pulling from the Script Apart podcast, which went over the writing of Last of Us Part 2, in which Druckmann touched briefly on the possibility of a sequel. Quote, I don't know how much I want to reveal. Co-writer Hallie Gross and I did write an outline for a story that we're not making, but I hope one day can see the light of day that explores a little bit what happens after this game. We'll see. The article continues with, Druckmann says there's been quite a bit of discussion internally about a part 3, but pointed out how much work is involved in making a game like this a reality. These games take so much to make. Part 2, I've been thinking about it for 7 years between when the last game came out and when this came out. You want to make sure you're jazzed by the idea that you have, that it feels like it's challenging. I know a lot of people are over The Last of Us, especially with the rumors about the remake of the first one, and it's kind of like, all right, enough already. But after playing the first one and the idea of a second one, it's like, okay, what is this going to do that the first one didn't already do? And when it was just so much better, at least to me, than the initial one, I'm like, okay, I'm now down for any story or any game or anything that you want to make with this IP, because it's just all been so good. So for the most part, I trust Druckmann and Gross and the team's vision on when and if they do ever want to do a part 3, and I will absolutely be there if they do make a part 3. There's so many things that I would love to see from that franchise that, like, yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm so super curious as to like what their current draft is. Obviously, they're not going to show anyone that because it may become a thing, it may not, but yeah, I'd love to know what that outline looks like. And next up, Microsoft changes its cut on PC game sales. Microsoft will now be taking just 12% of revenue, making it on par with Steam and Epic Games Store. They write in their own news post, as part of our commitment to empower every PC game creator to achieve more, starting on August 1st, the developer share of Microsoft Store PC game sales net revenue will increase to 88%, up from 70%. That's really cool. It's a smart move. It obviously speaks to Microsoft's commitment to really having a foothold in the PC gaming space as well. And at the end of the day, I'm always down for developers getting more money for the games that they work so hard to create. And now for some delays. RE-Verse has been delayed to summer 2021. This is the game that you get for free when you buy Resident Evil Village, but this is not related to the release date of Resident Evil Village. Village is still coming out on time, but RE-Verse will be delayed. And again, this is the 4 to 6 person survival horror revenge deathmatch games, the 5-minute death matches. That whole thing is pushed back until the summer. So even though you'll still be able to claim it for free as long as you have Resident Evil Village, you won't be able to play it at the launch of Village, as this will be coming out later in summer. Somewhat small, but Watch Dogs Legion's title update 4 is also delayed. It was originally scheduled to go out in late April, but it has been pushed to May 4th. And Fall Guys coming to Xbox and Switch has been delayed. Originally, they had planned to bring that out in summer 2021, but given the things they want to add to the game, It's just not possible to get it out at that time, but they are also hoping to add things like crossplay so that when they do eventually come to Xbox and Switch, you can play with whoever you want. And now for games, events, releases, and updates, we'll start with some news that came out of the State of Play. In addition to just showing off that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart gameplay, we also got Among Us coming to PS4 and PS5 this year. This is one of those classic situations where I have to pause for a second and go, oh yeah, I guess that wasn't on there yet. Okay, it's on there now. And one really cool thing, though, is they have Ratchet and Clank skins with this, which I just think is an adorable addition, especially when this game has been played so much on other platforms. It just sort of gives you a little reason to play it on PlayStation, especially if you already own it somewhere, because chances are, if you haven't played Among Us, that is because you decided not to play Among Us, not because it wasn't on PS4/PS5. But yes, the Ratchet and Clank skins are super cute. And also from the State of Play, Subnautica Below Zero. We even got a look at some gameplay. Subnautica Below Zero is going to launch on PS4 and PS5 on May 14th, so it's just around the corner. And the blog post writes, the sequel to the award-winning Subnautica, Below Zero plunges even the bravest of explorers into an underwater world filled with all new and vast biomes to explore, and mysterious and unfamiliar creatures lurking in the depths of the planet. As you continue to investigate the mysterious circumstances that brought you planetside, you'll be challenged to survive in harsh Arctic conditions, as well as avoid the looming threat of discovery by Altera, who have all but abandoned 4546B in their haste to evacuate. And the post highlights other things like DualSense integration as well. And it's worth noting that if you get Below Zero on PS4, you will get a free PS5 version upgrade. Again, it's coming out May 14th, and it will be $29.99 USD. From Apex Legends, a new permanent mode is coming. It is Arenas. It will be part of the upcoming Legacy update, and it condenses the chaos of 20 squad battle royale matches down into more focused 3v3 combat. You'll face off against the enemy without any squad coming to crash the party, allowing you to focus on surviving and winning the fight. You'll compete over multiple rounds, striving to be the last squad standing each time, and this comes over from the official blog post over on EA's website. Before every round starts, you use materials earned during the previous round to get and upgrade weapons, as well as ordnance and healing supplies. After customizing your loadout and preparing for your round, you'll jump straight into the action with your gear. If you're eliminated in a round, your squad mates won't be able to respawn you, but you'll be able to fight again at the start of the next round. Of course, you can still revive knocked teammates. Rounds are won when you kill all players on the enemy squad. Then the next round begins and the cycle repeats until an overall match winner is crowned. It then breaks down other details in terms of winning the battles, how you gear up for battles, how you control the arena, the different maps, a whole bunch of details listed on what to expect with this arena update. It is worth noting that you'll be fighting in a mix of custom maps and existing Battle Royale locations from within Kings Canyon, World's Edge, and Olympus. So yeah, just a bunch going down in Apex Legends, which again, it's not a game I'm particularly playing, but definitely something to look forward to if you are someone who is constantly playing that game. And in the dead of night, Nintendo announced that they are doing a free update to Super Mario Party, where you can now play online, which is, it's free. It's wild that it's so late. It's like a while after the game's release, and everyone was kind of talking about how it feels like this would have been great to do like at the start of the pandemic. So it's kind of a weird choice to have it now, but hey, we're still in the pandemic, so there's still going to be value here. And plus, just having online modes is always convenient because not everyone lives with people that they can play with. So again, free update to Super Mario Party. Go ahead and install that if you haven't already. And this might be enough for me to purchase it. I had heard that this Mario Party wasn't like that good, but I don't know. A bad Mario Party can still be an okay time, so it might be worth getting into if you haven't gotten into it already. I am definitely considering it. A Monster Hunter Rise update just dropped. I had alluded to this a few episodes ago. This update was coming, but we have all the details on what it has. The main additions and changes are listed on the Monster Hunter website, and they are as follows. Added story elements. Your hunter rank cap will be raised when certain conditions are met. New monsters will start intruding on some quests. Added elements after raising hunter rank cap. New monsters will appear in village and hub quests. New monsters will appear in the rampage. New quests, arena quests, and requests will be available. New weapon trees, armor items, and pentalaces will be available. New skills and rampage skills will be available. Armor upgrade level cap will be raised. New decorations will be available to forge at the smithy. Layered armor will be available to forge. Palico and Palamute layered armor will be available to forge. Palico and Palamute level cap will be raised to level 50. Default level for Palico and Palamute hired from the Buddy Scout will be raised. Added system elements include new guild card awards available. You'll be able to change your hunter's appearance from the character select menu using a character edit voucher, and these vouchers can be purchased from the eShop. New DLC can be purchased from the eShop as well, and then just a couple bug fixes and miscellaneous additions. They even go into detail to break down bug fixes related to monsters, related to the player, and related to just miscellaneous quests and other issues. Animal Crossing got its spring update, which includes May Day, International Museum Day, and wedding season, as well as a few other things. Again, upcoming events. May Day is April 29th to May 7th, where you sort of can do like that maze challenge. You fly over to an island with your May Day ticket. International Museum Day is May 18th to May 31st, in which you are doing Stamp Rally, where you get these different stamp cards in the museum by viewing different parts of the collection. Wedding season is June 1st to June 30th. You can get some really cool decorations and things, so I do plan on doing this one. I had missed a couple of the items last time, and I'm guessing they have a few new items as well, so that one's definitely worth checking out. And seasonal items, such as stuff based on Mother's Day and cheese rolling, which is super cool. I'm very excited about this block of cheese. In celebration of Star Wars Day, the Star Wars website had put out a bunch of ways they're celebrating Star Wars Day with a bunch of different deals on Star Wars related games and products and a bunch of things to be excited about. One of them being Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting a next gen upgrade, which is going to come out this summer. So it's not coming out on Star Wars Day, but like, let's not get nitpicky here, I guess. Again, that's dropping in summer, so you'll be able to play an improved upgrade version on the PS5 and Series X/S. And this upgrade is free. It doesn't cost you anything to get this upgrade. This might be what gets me back into this game. I tried playing this game when it came out on my Xbox, not my Series S, geez, my Xbox One S. And the performance was really bad. And also, I didn't think the game was very good just in general. So, I mean, this isn't going to change the inherent game design. So maybe if I wasn't into it, I should just kind of let it go and just let this be a game that I don't really see all the way through. But I am excited about just having a few technical improvements because I did experience a lot of tech issues and a lot of framing playing on a fairly old last gen console when this game first came out. So that's exciting. And lastly, this game, Let's Build a Zoo, is coming out this summer to PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. This is highlighted by Matt Wales over at Eurogamer, and I also saw someone talking about this game on TikTok, so I thought it might be worth bringing up. It's basically like Zoo Tycoon, but it's super cute, and you can splice up the animals to make new species, which sounds kind of scary. I don't know how I feel about that, but the art style is super cute, and it seems like it might be something that could be fun to spend your time with, especially on Switch, where it's such a casual thing to just pick up and play and put some time into. So keep your eye out for that, which will be coming out again this summer. And now for the free section, sometimes complaining works. And by this, I mean the Resident Evil demo. The Resident Evil official account tweeted, "We've heard your feedback and are extending the availability period for the final 60-minute multi-platform RE Village demo. The original window was going to be 24 hours starting 5 p.m. on May 1st, which I had mentioned on last week's episode and would be irrelevant by the time I was recording. However, they have changed it to be increased by a week. So it now ends at the same times, but on May 9th. So be sure to check those new dates, and you can still check out the demo if you have not already. The May PlayStation Plus games have been announced, and they include Wreckfest Drive Hard Die Last as a PS5 exclusive for the PS Plus, Battlefield 5, and Stranded Deep. Honestly, don't really have a lot of opinions about these games, not necessarily excited for any of these in particular, but those are your May PlayStation Plus games. Similarly, we have Xbox games with gold, and their May offerings are Armello from May 1st to 31st, Dungeons 3, May 16th to June 15th, Lego Batman, May 1st to 15th, and Tropico 4, May 16th to 31st. So not exactly super excited about either of the offerings on either sides, but those are the free games that you can redeem this month. But something I am excited about, not that I'm necessarily even going to have the time to play it because I don't know where I'm finding this time, but Dragon Quest Builders 2 is going to be on Xbox Game Pass. Everyone I know who has played this game has recommended it. I don't know one person that has played it and not liked it. I've been wanting to play this for forever. It often has a really, I don't want to say forgiving demo because it's kind of weird framing, but like the demo period is really long in terms of hours they let you put in. It does carry over. I think that's still a thing on Switch, but I haven't checked that out in a while. But yeah, Dragon Quest Builders 2, I hear it's awesome. So I hope to check this out. It's coming to Game Pass on May 4th, and I guess I should play it sooner rather than later in case it leaves. But again, not sure when I'm going to find the time, but I think this is such a strong offering for them. And continuing with the good news, Knockout City will launch with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and EA Play on May 21st. This is awesome news because I think this game is a lot of fun. I played, I think the first, either the beta or the alpha that had dropped, and I thought it was like really strong. And a lot of people that were watching me stream this game were like, oh yeah, this seems fun, but I don't necessarily want to pay for it, which I know is kind of like an awful thing to say, but there's something about like games like this that a lot of people assume that it'll be like a free to play situation, and when it's not, they just don't want to pay the money even if they think the product is good. So I was really worried that was going to happen with Knockout City, so it's so good to hear that they're going to have a Game Pass EA Play deal going on to help, you know, bolster that player base and hopefully get some attention on this game because I think it's pretty strong. And again, this is that dodgeball brawler game that I believe it was shown at both a Nintendo Direct and then one other event like back-to-back days. And those are all the stories we have for this week. Thank you so much for watching over on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and tap the bell, and listening on all podcasting platforms. It would help a whole lot if you could drop a review on the podcast. And as usual, thank you so much to all my patrons who help make this show possible. You too can support over on patreon.com/Gameonysus. We have things from the $1 tier all the way up to the $25 tier in terms of cool rewards, benefits, bonuses, and all of that stuff. So please check that out. And as usual, I will see y'all here next time. Bye.